What is going on, guys? This is Philip Sessions with the Healthy Living Sessions podcast, coming to you today to talk to you about the New Year's. And speaking of New Year's, Happy New Year's to y'all. Hopefully, you're listening to this on New Year's while you're staying at home, being comfortable. For me, unfortunately, I have to go into work today. But like I've been mentioning, been working during this Christmas/New Year's holiday to make some extra money before I move into my new career. So just trying to bring in a little extra money for savings purposes. But anyways, let's talk about this new year. So too often, when the new year comes, we make resolutions, and those resolutions may be to do better, maybe do more, make personal changes, and so on and so forth. Just so many things we want to do that always seem to never happen. Especially around the gym, one thing that everybody jokes about is the New Year's resolutions people. Usually the first few weeks are just terrible because you have all these people that say they want to get in shape this year. This is the year they're going to get that body they always wanted. And then they crowd up the gym for the first month. Sometimes they might make it as far as 2 months, but for sure by March they're already uh, gone back to their old ways, and it's very unfortunate because that happens all over the place. It's not just at the gym. I mean, it's in all aspects of life, and it's so sad to see that people desire to make these changes, or at least say it out loud, yet they don't make those changes. They go back to their old ways right away. Why is that? And I believe that has something to do with our mindset and our motive. Eric Thomas said, "When you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful." So how does that quote apply to us? Well, we have to decide that this new person is something we want to become so badly, it's like not being able to breathe. If we don't make this change, then we can't live. We can't keep going with life if we don't make this change. That is what that quote means, applying to what exactly you want to do this year. Until you decide that you can't go on without being whatever this new person may be, or these new ideas you have about what you want to do, until you decide that it's like breathing, you are never going to make that change. Well, I shouldn't say never, but more than likely you won't make that change in the manner that you want to make it. You may, go to the gym more often, but are you really going to get in the shape that you truly want it to if you don't make that your sole intent to do? Just like breathing is something we have to do in order to live, that's the same way if these goals or changes in your life you want to make, if they're that important to you, then you will be able to do them. But until you make them that important, you are not going to make that change. And going back to what I said about motive, again, with the fit body, is that motive so you can, get laid, or is that for some other purposes? Is that just so you can be in better health for, potentially getting a girlfriend for future whenever you're married and have kids, just for your own personal benefit? That way, maybe you wanted to do a marathon, you've never been able to do it before, or something like that. Is it for you, for a higher purpose, or is it simply just for some immediate satisfaction, some immediate gratification? And that goes with anything. If we're talking about business, money, why do you want to get rich? Is it because you just want to be able to buy an 80-foot yacht or something like that, be able to go on trips all over the world just to please yourself, or are you trying to do it to be able to help others out as well? I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing these things in moderation, but if your sole purpose is just for something selfish like that, then your motive is not strong enough. Your motive has to be for more than just you. So whatever these goals are that you're trying to do, you need to make sure that your motive and your intent behind those are correct. And so I mentioned on the podcast yesterday about my goals. I have three big goals. I'm sure there'll be small goals along the way. And of course, I've got to build up exactly how I'm going to do those goals. But my big three goals that I want for next year, which you might call me crazy, but I want to make really big goals so that way I can really achieve high. And so the first one is to, and these aren't really in any order besides me just saying 1, 2, and 3. But first one is I want to make $1 million next year. I've never gotten anywhere close to that, but I'm just gonna make a huge goal. Kind of like a 10x goal, like Grant Cardone talks about. So $1 million there. Second is to save $100,000. I know out of $1 million doesn't seem like a lot, but when you take taxes out and everything, that is quite a bit of that. So I do want to try and save up $100,000 as well. And thirdly is to do more evangelism work. Be me more proactive on that. I am starting to do something with one of the men from my congregation. We're trying to get a program started with my church to get things going, and we'll get others involved with that. And so that's another big one. I really want to get that rolling to help our church grow and to help bring others to Christ. Just to put a good message out there. Today's time and age, we don't have that good message out there as often. So I think that is really important for us to have. And so that would be the big three goals that I have. Like I said, there are a bunch of smaller ones, but this is just the big three. So don't be afraid to have some crazy goals. Here I am mentioning these crazy goals, and you're probably thinking, this guy's talking about making $1 million, and he hadn't even gotten in close. Well, you know what? I don't care. I mean, I'm going to set the goal high, because I'd rather set it high and miss it than set it low and actually achieve it. So I think that's how you really need to set these goals for next year. And the reason why I want to make $1 million, besides, obviously having a lot of money, is that I want to be able to help people out. And this goes with the third goal I have, which is the evangelism work. Besides going out and spreading the word, I want to be able to, if there's a homeless person on the street, just be able to give them some money. A family is in need. Maybe they're, they only had one car and that broke down. I can go buy them, a car and things like that. I want to be able to give back with the money I get. So it's not all for me, like anybody else. I want to go on trips, go do nice things with the money, but I also want to be able to give back with the money. And I feel I have the ability to make this kind of money. I have the work ethic to do it. And I know some people don't have the ability to work. And so I want to be able to help those out that are less fortunate. So, these motives aren't, or these goals aren't selfish. I promise that that's not me. I'm not all about money. I just want to be able to help people. And I know you don't have to have money to be able to help people out, but I feel like that is a way to be able to help people out a little bit easier. I can reach other people, because there's only one of me. I can only be in so many spots, obviously only one spot at a time, but I can only be in so many areas. So, not that I want to just throw money at something, but, like I said with the car, if I can be able to give somebody some money so they can go buy a car or something like that, that would just be amazing to me. I never had that ability growing up. My parents never had that ability, and that's just something I've wanted to do growing up, just be able to help others out in ways like that. And so, enough talking about my three big goals for the year. I want to go back and talk to y'all a little bit more. Make sure the goals that you set out, that they're really big goals. What is life if you're not trying to achieve really big goals? If you're just floating through life, that's not really a life to me worth living. Make sure you're actually doing something to help others out. Make sure those goals are for bigger purposes than just yourself. Make sure your mindset and your motive behind those goals are for other people. And also, just make that change. Don't wait for someone to come take your hand and walk you down the road. Make that change. You don't have to wait for the new year. I mean, it's here, so just go ahead and start. But, if it takes you a little bit, you need to finish up some things, whatever, just start. Don't wait again for 2020. I promise you're going to regret it so much more if you don't just start now. And besides, we're not promised tomorrow anyways. And for those of you who have actually already made the change and are already doing the things that you've set your mind out to, you've already planned these goals out and you're going after them, I commend you and encourage you to stay on the course. I know how hard it can be to set goals and go for them. There's so many people out there that are so negative, but I promise it'll all be worth it in the end. Those people are going to commend you in the end, hopefully. I know it can be tiring and it can be bothersome, but just remember that you're doing what's best for you. So just keep that in mind, guys. I really hope you got something out of this message. If you enjoyed this, please share it with your friends. I really want this to grow. I want other people to hear about this. I want to know what y'all want to hear. So please leave a review. Tell me what you liked, what you didn't like, what you would like to hear. I'm looking forward to talking about more things. Again, this podcast is more than just about fitness and health. I love talking about life, talking about business, stuff like that. And we will have people on this podcast hopefully here within the next month. I'm planning that out, getting some interviews together. Finally got some equipment for that so I can actually record me and somebody else at the same time, and we don't have to share the mic awkwardly. We can have our own mics. So again, please, comment, leave a rating, leave a review, and let me know what you think about this podcast and share it with your friends. And this is Philip Sessions with the Healthy Living Sessions podcast. I hope you have a blessed day, a happy new year, and a blessed year. Go out there and crush those goals.